Hello everyone! It's good to have you back. I hope you're doing well. And today's video is the April flip through of my Hobonichi HON journal. So without further ado, let's jump right in. So for the year at a glance view, it's pretty much the same as last month. I have been pretty consistent with keeping up and tracking my running journey, and I think I might just keep going that way because, again, it's been pretty practical so far, and I like to see the evolution of my practice. So yeah, not much has changed since last month. As for the calendar view, it is the same thing as well. Still taking notes of my activity on social media for Pomme Palette. I did post pretty consistently this month, which I'm really proud of. If you've watched my last video, it has been a bit of a struggle, but I'm glad I finally was able to keep it up and to keep myself more accountable for my posting. For the weekly view, it's the same as well. This is where I track my days and I highlight a color based on the kind of activity it is. I was able to keep up with it pretty well, I will say. Though I feel like now I might be ready to move on to something else just because I've been using the system for a while. And as much as it used to be really helpful for me to get a better sense of how I would spend my days and try to balance out my weeks a bit better, I think that now I'm going to try to use this section more as a planner. I don't want to plan just anything. I think I will use this to plan my art making, but I will be explaining that a bit later in the video when I talk about how I set up the month of May. Now to the main monthly page. I pretty much still love making that page. April went really fast for me. I think having that as a reminder of everything that I've done is pretty satisfying and it makes me feel more accomplished. So once again, I think I will just keep going with this until I get tired of it, I guess. Moving on to the daily pages, the material I'm using for the lettering and the stamps are these right there. I'll put it on a screen. For this month, I was particularly excited to work with all the stickers and washi tapes I have because I feel like they fit the spring theme and mood really well. And I found myself having lots of fun being a bit more detailed with my use of those stickers. I do own a lot of really small ones, and so I like to create compositions around usually like a chunk of washi tape and then being a bit more refined with how I arrange everything around it. And yeah, overall the process was really exciting. I can say I was pretty much on a roll this month. It's always such a restful and peaceful moment, and I'm really proud of all the pages, like how they turned out without spending too much time on them, testing out new things color-wise. As for what I'm writing about in my journal, someone has asked in the previous video, it's mainly what I do every day, and I will be honest, this month of April has gone pretty fast. The days have been pretty much the same. There are big chances that I will move out from my current place in a few months, and so I've been organizing a lot of that. I guess it's been a bit nostalgic for me this month, thinking back on everything that I built so far and saying goodbye to a lot of things that I bought during my college years, big objects that I cannot really take with me. And so I guess I've been through the process of just saying goodbye to this time and be ready to move on in a way. I did say goodbye to a few friends already. Something I learned along the way was to really enjoy and initiate as much as I can while I can, if that makes sense. Like not waiting, because there were a few people that I thought I could just see a bit later and they had to go a bit suddenly. I guess that's what happens when people live abroad, right? Like you meet people, but then it's the kind of lifestyle that could potentially change really fast. And yeah, April was kind of accepting all that change all of a sudden, slowly getting ready for the next step of my life. On a lighter note, At the end of the month, I started researching more about comics because a friend is actually working on one right now and got me really curious about that craft that I haven't really been exploring that much. I discovered this show that has been around for actually quite a while, but I only found out about it really recently, and it's called Manben. It's a show that follows a lot of different manga artists in Japan and their process, what makes them want to tell the story they're telling, and how they draw each panel, what they think about as they're doing it. I don't know, it's been like a great inspiration recently, and just overall like studying about the world of comics. So yeah, that's a little bit what's been on my mind this past month. I know it's written in French in my journal, and sometimes I tend to forget that. I will try to chat a bit more about the actual content of the book and not just its form. So that is all for my April flip through. I hope you enjoy those pages. And now I will take you through the setup for my month of May in my Hobonichi. All right, now that my daily pages are set up, I will go ahead and jump to the year at a glance view and get that page ready. I will basically replicate that layout right here in order to track my physical activity with my workouts, stretching sessions, etc. Okay. So basically, this column is where I would track the weeks. So the way I was running was every 4 run, I consider that a week. But then that means it doesn't really match up with the actual calendar week. I just make up my own workout weeks, if that makes sense, to keep it 4 by 4. My second one is my stretching. So I'm trying to get daily stretch, just like 10 to 15 minutes, and then I like to just highlight it when it's done. And then the next one is for workouts or running. And then the last one is for like extra detail about the workout. Depending on what I did that day, I find that little extra space super helpful to have, and I do use it. So yeah, this system has been perfect for me. I've been using it for the past 3 months, and I'll just keep going with this. And then for the calendar view, I don't have any setup to do. I guess I'll just keep tracking when I'm filming, editing, and that will happen as I'm doing it, so I don't need to write anything ahead of time. So I will just skip that part. And for the weeklies, that's where I wanted to try something a bit new this time. I might just finish that week the same way, but for the next one, that's when things will get a bit different. So I'm actually not sure how to do it, but I would like to plan my work around like illustration and art and use this more as a productive tool. So I might discard the hours and fully use the column as one entity, or like as a note section with some target goals for the day for my work. So I think for now I will just take a little post-it note, and then let me switch pens, try to figure out along the way. So what I want to do is write daily goals for art making / comics, maybe also put references used / studied each day. That's, for instance, when I'm watching an episode on one specific comic book artist or mangaka, and I want to remember who they are and what the episode was about. I think it'd be nice to put it right there so that I don't really forget, because as the episodes go from the show I'm watching, I tend to forget who already went by, and I feel like this would be a nice way to retain the information a bit better. And then track my progress. So like writing what actually got done that day, crossing out the to-do list. So this would be like a to-do. This would be the work in progress, and having all that right here. So yeah, I think that's the plan for the weekly view. I'm still not sure exactly how I'm gonna put things together, but that's the goal, and hopefully you'll get to see it in the next video when I start using it and then kind of figure it out as I'm going. So yeah, for now I'll just leave a little post-it note, and then I'll keep you guys updated with how it turns out. So yeah, basically my book is set up for the month of May. It's fairly simple because I don't want to give myself too much to do ahead of time, and I kind of just go with the flow because I figured, again, like in the past months, that if I give myself too much of a workload, this is not supposed to be work, it's supposed to be fun. And so I don't want to put too much pressure on setting up, and that is how I'm gonna keep it for May as well. It's been working super well for April and March, actually. So if you look at the book, it's becoming a bit chunky, but not too much, because the yeah, the fact that I switched to only stickers plus writing is really making my book hold in shape. And so when I write, it's not too bumpy, which I really like so far. So that is all for my flip through / journal setup. I hope you liked the video. Feel free to put a thumbs up if you liked it. You can subscribe to my channel, and I will come back with more cozy journaling content for you. Have a really wonderful day. I'll talk to you very soon. Bye!